Hello there. So I'm trying to get out without any. No, what I'm trying to say before I kept on getting interrupted by a bunch of cell phone related issues is that David Hoggs is in fact a cyber bully. He went and attacked Laura Ingraham unfairly, trying to boycott her and making her lose all her sponsors over just because she proclaimed that David Hogg was whining and complaining that he wasn't getting accepted into any colleges when they rightly want to defend their business against any negativity they could possibly bring upon them, which are all pretty goddamn fair business-wise. And getting rid of guns, anti-gunners, hopers that want the Second Amendment repealed. Those three things, not gonna happen. Why I say that it's never and not gonna happen is that civil war would break out before it did. Yes, what happened in Florida a couple months ago was unjustifiably cruel, but I would think in due time the suspect, Nicholas Cruz, is eventually going to face the death penalty. And to those that say that death is too quick, because the way I see it, we don't let murderers live until the date of the death penalty being struck onto him. So some are familiar with the Constitution of the death penalty, and some that aren't. Let me clear this up. It is in fact constitutional. Those that say it isn't have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They're talking out of their ass. I promise you. So here it is. The United States Supreme Court said this about the death penalty in Gregg v. Georgia, 1976. The imposition of the death penalty for the crime of murder has a long history of acceptance both in the United States and in England. It is apparent from the text of the Constitution itself that the existence of capital punishment was accepted by the farmers. At the time the Eighth Amendment was ratified, capital punishment was a common sanction in every state. Indeed, the first Congress of the United States enacted legislation proving death as the penalty for specified crimes. For the Fifth Amendment, adopted at the same time as the Eighth, contemplated the continued existence of the capital sanction by imposing certain limits on the prosecution of the capital, no less. I mean of capital cases. No person shall be held to answer for a capital, otherwise infamous crime, unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor be nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. And the 14th Amendment, adopted over 3/4 of a century later, similarly contemplates the existence of the capital sanction in providing that no state shall deprive a person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. For nearly 2 centuries, this court repeatedly and often expressly has recognized that capital punishment is not valid per se. The U.S. Supreme Court has, for over 200 years, repeatedly declared the death penalty to be constitutional, except for the 4 years from 1972 to 76. It based its decisions on 2 amendments to the Constitution that specifically mention the death penalty as follows. The 5th Amendment to the Constitution says, "No person shall be deprived of life without due process of law." The 14th Amendment says, "No state shall deprive any person of life without due process of law." So play a little bit of same similarities there. Even though the death penalty has been legal in the U.S. for over 200 years, the ACLU uses its 2,000 lawyers to oppose it. A common misunderstanding is that the ACLU supports the Constitution, but in the About the ACLU section of their website, they don't claim to support all parts of it. They only support parts that agree with their agenda. And in cases such as the death penalty, they actually use their lawyers to work against the Constitution. If I were the Florida's judge, I'd be like, nope, death penalty. Bye-bye, Danny DeVito. Or no, bye-bye, whatever his nuts is. Should probably shit your pants when I read this. What constitutes the death penalty in Florida? Capital crimes. In Florida, murder can be punished by death if it involves one of the following aggravating factors. It was committed by a person previously convicted of a felony, under sentence of imprisonment, placed on community control, or felony probation. What kind of crimes get the death penalty? Gee, I wonder. The capital offenses include espionage, treason, and death resulting from aircraft hijacking. However, they mostly consist of various forms of murder, such as murder committed during a drug-related drive-by shooting, murder during a kidnapping, murder for hire, and genocide. I wonder if 17 counts of murder is considered genocide. So, not poor, why the fuck? As far as I'm concerned, I don't think Nicholas Cruz deserves it to live much longer. Strike him? No. Strap him to the wheelchair, please. Please, Florida. Strap that murderous asshole to the electric chair. And here's the spillage that well, here it is about David Hogg. On March 24th, Hogg says he wasn't at school.
On the day of the shooting, I got my camera and got on my bike and rode as fast as I could 3 miles from my house to the school to get as much video and get as many interviews as I could, because I knew that this could not be another mass shooting.
David Hogg's story has changed. He now says he wasn't at the school when the shots rang out. You lied, buddy. Why'd you lie? Why? You think you're badass when you lie? You're not. Never was, never will. Me personally, I think you're a fucking fraud on CNN's news media. Go ahead, watch this video, spray me all over the news. Do with it what you will. If I really do think you're not a bad person, you wouldn't do such shit. But you kind of already proved yourself when you're already downgrading Alex Jones and Laura Ingraham by any discriminatorily means. Oh, and by the way, you're not the fucking apology police. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Besides, I think I'm coming down something. This is all I'm putting out there for now until I deem otherwise. Oh, and Dave, if you say again that people can't disagree with you, I'm sorry, bro. I'm already disagreeing with you. I'm already disagreeing with your stupid ass. I don't agree the fact that you pretty much harassed 4 colleges trying to get in. Oh, please, let me in. And then you whine on air that they're like, oh, they didn't let me in. Bitch, please.